In this video, we are going to be looking at rationalization of SURDS. Now, before we treat this topic, I want to make sure you understand something. It's something very simple. Now, if I've got a fraction, let's say 2 over 5. Now, I hope you know that the number on top is known as the numerator, while the number under is known as the denominator. Now, having said this, whenever we have the denominator as a surd, we rationalize. So it means if the surd is under, we rationalize. For example, we rationalize if we have 2 over square root of 3, or if we have 3 over root 5, or we have 7 over root 2. Now you can see in these 3 cases, we have a surd as the denominator. Do you understand? But we don't rationalize when we have, say, root 3 over 2. We don't rationalize. This remains our answer. Do you understand? Now, the next question you want to ask is, what does it mean to rationalize? Now, let's take an example. Now, here we are told to rationalize 7 over root 2. Now, what that means is this. We are going to have 7 over root 2. So we multiply by a fraction of the denominator. What I mean by that is root 2 over root 2. Does this make sense? So can we do this? So 7 times root 2 will give us 7 root 2. Root 2 times root 2 is the same thing as root 2 times 2. So we have 7 root 2 all over 2 times 2 is 4. So we have 7 root 2 all over root 4 is what? 2. Does that make sense? So it means our answer is 7 root 2 over 2. Do you understand? So anytime you are told to rationalize a surd, all you need to do is to multiply by the fraction of the denominator. Does that make sense? Let's take another question. So we have rationalized 5 root 2 over root 3. Now let's do this. 5 root 2 over root 3. Now remember, to rationalize, we multiply by the fraction of the denominator. Does this make sense? 5 root 2 times root 3 is the same thing as 5 root 2 times 3. I hope you can still remember. All over root 3 times root 3 is like root 3 times 3. So we have equals to 5 roots. 2 times 3 is 6, so we have 5 root 6. All over root 3 times 3 is 9. Does this make sense? So we have 5 root 6 all over root 9 is 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. So it means our answer is 5 root 6 over 3. Do you understand? Let's take another question. Now we are told to rationalize this surd. So let's do this. So we have 8 root 5 over 2 root 2. Remember, I told you that you always rationalize anytime you have surd in the denominator. Now we'll multiply by the fraction of the denominator. So 2 root 2 over 2 root 2. Does this make sense? Now 8 root 5 times 2 root 2. We have 8 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16. Then we have root 5 times 2. Do you understand? Then all over 2 times 2 is 4. Then we have root 2 times 2. Do you understand? Alright, so we have 16 root 5 times 2 is 10. All over 4 root 2 times 2 is what? 4. So we have 16 root 10 all over 4 times root 4 is what? 2. Because 2 times 2 is 4. I hope you understand. So we can have 16 root 10 all over 4 times 2 is 8. Do you understand? Now if you look carefully, 8 can go in 16. So I can have 8 here 1. 8 in 16 is 2. So our answer is equals to 2 root 10. And this is our answer. Now don't forget, we rationalize anytime we have surd as the denominator. So sometimes they could just ask you to rationalize. Now all that time you could be solving and you get surd at the bottom. So you know that you should not leave your answer like that. You need to rationalize. Do you understand? Now in the next video, I'll tell you how to rationalize when you have a sum or a difference of SURD as the denominator.